Hello, hello. Here we are on Daybreak, probably actually one of the more balanced maps, a little bit bigger than some of the other ones here. Up on the top right-hand corner, we have from 440, it is
440 Gaming, Zode.
And his opponent in the bottom left-hand corner, of course, the only opponent, or only player rather, from the sunny UK, who, Trigonal seems to know pretty well, but Trigonal's not joining with us tonight. But it is, of course, your Golden Terran player,
Forged Force Gaming, Ceonsamea.
I like that he's golden.
Yeah, he's golden.
Instead of just orange.
He's not just orange, he's golden,
Yeah.
you know, that's... I mean, I feel like whenever they're yellow or orange, I always call them golden, because it's a better descriptor, in my opinion.
It is. I also like his clan name is
Forged
almost,
Force Gaming.
I was going to say, if you pronounce it just the initials, it almost sounds like the other guys.
Fofog.
Fofoji.
Fofoji.
Fofoji 440. Yeah.
Yeah, we do have a Reaper on the way. It's pretty standard builds out of these two guys, and to be honest, I think we're going to see very standard play out of both of them. Ceonsamea had some trouble in his group. I think it was A, actually. It was, I think, whichever group he was in. His round of 32 group, he lost to Old Man Slum, a Zerg player who would eventually go on to forfeit due to scheduling. But that was the only match he's lost in the entire tournament. I think he lost 2-0. I might be incorrect in this, but so we'll see if Ceonsamea can bring it in this TVZ, because he's demonstrated some really good play throughout the tournament.
Reaper is hopping up there after a brief pause. Of course, Ling's already on the way, as is the Queen, but will he get any drones here? He's pulling them off.
Yeah, he didn't even have to
Turning
make
into
that
things.
to a spore collar. He got it out of the seam. But I mean, it's not too bad. Anytime you can make a Zerg player, take away any sort of minerals or take away a drone, it's always going to be a good thing. So we do have speed on the way, and you know what? He sees that coming, so Ceonsamea is not going to miss that upgrade's on the way. And I think he's pretty okay with things right now. He's gone home and he's got his natural up and running. There's not going to be any early Ling pressure that's going to be able to take this out. These two Marines are actually going to be able to snipe this Overlord, and that's actually going to be a pretty big deal.
Good. Yeah, it is here, especially since he also made 8 Lings to deal with this Reaper. It's not a big deal, but that's just a little more than you often would.
Yeah, and generally what you like to do, Daybreak's a bit different because you have a lot of distance, but if you go Reaper Expand, you tend to keep them at home a little bit just to check and see if there are any early Ling pressure to cancel your second. And there's a drone that's not really doing his job right now, but I was watching Moro. You know who Moro is? That Swedish Terran player? Yeah, even today, he just GG'd out because his second got canceled by Lynx, and so you want to be a little bit more wary of that. We do have speed Lynx coming across the map, though, from Zode, looking to see if he can get anything done, and there's nothing really here to protect this at the moment, so we'll see what he can get done.
Yeah, he might get a pickup here. He could catch another SCV coming up, potentially, but it was just morphing into the orbital.
Yeah, and they've got the Hellions on the map, and of course the magic number is 6, but these days it seems like a lot of Terrans, and I actually like this, are going for more Hellions than usual, getting up to 8 and 10 than those numbers before they finally switch off and maybe start making mines or whatever they're going to transition into. And a third CC is on the way already for Ceonsamea. It's almost done. And a third hatchery has been taken down at that bottom location. And this is a difficult third to defend. I find a lot of the plays on Daybreak and TVZs are made with defending that hatchery. And so if Terran can make a push here, and he's actually going to be making Banshees, it looks like, he might be able to, swing the game in his way really, really significantly.
Yeah, definitely. I think one thing that's really characteristic of all these maps in kind of this pool is the difficulty of defending thirds in general. I find that they're a lot farther away. There's usually a second route to them, and it can be harder to cover it with the same sort of things, I guess.
The same sort of mindset, the same strategy and mindset, because it disrupts everything. Your third is so key to mid and late game. It disrupts your timings. It disrupts, because typically, you're going to be able to at least get your units over there in time or this or that. Now, you can't. You have to spread your units out so far. Your workers are going to have to go farther to do anything. It's just a pain.
Yeah, pretty much, and it almost doesn't keep pace with like the reason that we don't use maps like this anymore. Things like increased speed on medevacs and the increased prevalence of Hellions and stuff just make it so much easier to swing off to the side there for a second and do the damage that you need to do.
Yeah, and we see him coming in with these Hellions. Yeah, he's going to be able to get this damage done. He's going to be able to kill that queen, so Zode is going to have to do some defending here, and a lot of Lings coming in. He doesn't see him. Okay, now the Hellions actually get a pretty good volley off. He's going to be able to trap 4. That's a lot of Hellions going down instantly, and you know what? He sees the Banshee and a Spore Crawler about to go down at the 3rd. And, you know, all those Hellions are basically non-existent now. He's going to pick up these last 2, and that did not work out in Ceonsamea's favor at all. And you know what really went wrong? He attacked up the ramp. He didn't have vision up the ramp. He just went right up the ramp.
Yeah, and he so easily could have if he had swung the Banshee into the right position. He could have seen what was up there before. But, yeah, you just get completely trapped out. And because of that early warning, well before Cloak was done, now there's time for Spores to go down, and yeah, it's just not looking good for the Banshee play from here.
That could have been way worse for Zode, and in the end, he was able to pick up most of the Hellions. And at this point, as a Zerg player, you're feeling fat and sassy. The Banshee's going to be able to take out some of these drones coming over, transferring from the 2nd. Picks up 3, but as a Zerg player, now you know there's nothing to really contest you. The Hellions aren't on the map. Sure, he has his Banshee, and he's going to pick up what he can. He's going to actually get a Queen here. That's pretty big. But for the most part, you know, that was typically going to be like take out a ton as he loses the Banshee. He wanted to take out a ton of drones with that push, and he's not going to. It's not happening for him.
Yeah, and here's one of these little annoyances on the 3rd base, an Overlord over there dropping creep. So he's got to send units all the way over. He sends a Hellion that can't shoot up. but then you get this little ambush as he sends over. There's a group of Lings here ready to ambush. It's not going to do much, but.
No, but at this point, Lings are just minerals. They're not very, you know, it's not a huge investment. And so, you know, it was a really good, you know, I like it. There's a lot of Lings and Banelings morphing, so he's looking to catch out more stuff. This is really good play from Zode. And you know what? Now that I remember it, he actually makes a lot of plays happen by denying the 3rds. He's done this before. Of course, you can see it that he's practicing, but we've seen it before in ASL. And now this is a lot of Lings. It's spotted from Ceonsamea. The supply depots do go up, and there is a bunker, but he's going to see these Banelings come in. And I think Zode might be backing off for now. I don't think he thinks he has the forces, but he's going to go ahead and morph what looks to be 4 more Banelings down. A lot more, actually. So 8 more. It looks like 9 more Banelings morphing.
Yeah, he's planning to just break this down. It's kind of a hard position once again for a Terran player that he has to defend this 3rd, but he also has to have this army in front.
Oh, God.
And he just comes in the wall completely open. Well, that didn't go well.
The wall's completely open. The Banelings bust down all the Marines. Nothing left to defend. A couple Lings make it into the main, and they start chewing up these SCVs. The Banelings absolutely decimated that wall. Ceonsamea has to pull SCVs, and Banelings do get a couple good connections, but this is actually looks salvageable, but so many Lings are flooding across. They're going to deny the 3rd even. There's a couple of medevacs, but there's nothing else to defend here.
There, but it will go down, but he does have a bunker at the 3rd, which is well placed. No repair on it, though, unfortunately.
Is it? Well, he just finally... Yeah, he finally manages to clean up the main and natural, let alone his 3rd, and Zode is taking a 4th behind this.
Yeah, and our Ling's still going to town there. There's actually still 1 Ling just sitting in the main. Now it's killed.
Oh, God, and this is looking...
the refinery down to burning.
Bad to worse for Ceonsamea, our UK Terran Diamond, and you know, he is going to have to lift that orbital, and it's on fire. So, no, you know, he's going to get SCVs over there, but they're not going to repair it. They're going to lose him. So he might lose the 3rd. If he loses the 3rd, Muta's on the way. He doesn't have the infrastructure to support just killing his Marines off. He needs to make a play here. And +1 flying attacks, +2 melee and armor up for his ground units. Of course, he's going to go into Ling Bang Muta, and there's nothing doing here for Ceonsamea. I think he knows he's going to lose that. He has to push out and do something. That orbital on 50 health now, and it's going down. He doesn't have any... Okay, he's going to drop a mule. That's unfortunate. We have to drop a mule to save an orbital, but, you know, he can't afford losing that.
Yeah, definitely couldn't lose that. That's really his only lifeline, is to come back with a lot of SCVs in there. Trying this rush again. Banelings, good connections.
Oh, God.
All still open.
Oh, the horror. The Lings are flooding in. The Banelings getting all sorts of connections. Ceonsamea losing his entire army save for a couple of Widow Mines and some Marines. And it's not going to be enough for the rest of the game. It's going to be enough right now. He'll be able to push it off. But Zode has the infrastructure to just keep flooding units across the map. And if you look at the minimap, there's just back and forth of a lot of Lings and Banelings just morphing. Look, he morphed every single one of his Lings over there into Banelings. So he's fine. He's golden. He has no problem doing this. And once he gets whatever transition he needs to do, if Ceonsamea is able to get a foothold in this game again, which is highly unlikely, he's going to be able to go right into mutas.
Yeah, exactly. He's already starting the upgrades there. And for those of you that get in a position like this that you're obviously going to win, I like what Zode is doing. He put down extra spores. He put down extra things at home because he's thinking, what is the one thing that could happen that I could potentially lose? Oh my God. Well, there's that too.
Holy shit.
That was
man. Yeah, you know,
one
you're
of
right.
the biggest.
He is, because this is a medevac coming in here and it has to leave now. He's going to be trying to drop him, but the mutas are able to clean it up, probably. That was a massive Widowmine hit, by the way. Just keep talking about that. You know, it is good that Ceonsamea is able to come here and catch out some of these mutas, and the mutas are not in a big enough... Losing these mutas is not good. He lost the medevac, but you know he picked up 2 or 3, and that's going to deny Zode's ability to get that massive mutas at least a little later than usual. 40 Lings on the way, and finally we're getting +2 in for our Terran player. So I mean, it's in a really tough position right now. He's doing the best that he can to get back on equal footing. But look at that purple coming across the map. Jesus.
It's actually surprising how well he is holding up. There's still 46 SCVs left. Given that 62 have died, that's actually pretty good.
Oh, wow.
But
in come the Lings.
It's still not enough.
Yeah, in come the Lings and mutas. He can't defend his third. His third is completely defenseless. He's got Banelings behind this. The Marines are going to come out. They're going to get totally surrounded. The Banelings off creep are able to get the detonations that they want. This is absolutely bad tours. Ceonsamea is totally fucked in this game. He's not going to be able to come back at this point. He almost had a foot back in it, but... You know what? 59 supply. I think Ceonsamea is just trying to say, you know what? You're not going to kill me that easily. You're going to have to work a little harder for this because Zode is just absolutely tearing him apart. And there's the GG called. Game 1 going to 440 Gaming Zode.
Yeah, just...
Back, we're on Overgrowth. Of course, we've got some shenanigans going down, so we're going to go ahead and get right into these player introductions. Spotting in the bottom left-hand corner, currently being cheesed, he is your purple Zerg
440
player.
Gaming, Zode.
And up here on the top right-hand side of the map, we have our Terran who is currently cheesing. He is your golden Terran.
Forged Force Gaming, Ceonsamea.
I like it. I adopted the gold.
The golden. Adopt the gold. Well, okay, so a lot of people are saying that's a risky location, and I myself originally thought that until my good friend Saber corrected me and said, no, this is actually a place where people put this on this map. He's already got his Marine out. The bunker's almost done, and Zode doesn't know this is coming. He actually scouted this with a drone. He tried to scout. He was looking for proxies, and he missed it completely, and the tracks from the Overlords missed it as well. Zode is in complete darkness, and he actually did not go for gas, and he went for spawning pool, so he's not in the worst shape. He didn't go gas first, but now these 2 Marines are here. He's going to wall off with the bunkers, and he's going to be perfectly fine. He's only put 1 barracks to this. This is not a 2 racks, but he's going to be looking to already contest the hatchery. Now Zode knows what's going on. He doesn't have anything to defend with. He does have 4 Lings and 2 Queens on the way, but until then, he's just going to keep producing Marines here, Ceonsamea, and try and make something happen. He's already got the wall up back at his home, and he's already producing a factory in that wall. So quick transitions from Ceonsamea. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, definitely. Really good placement here and really good at holding the Marines back just until the moment the hatchery finishes so that there's no chance of a cancel.
Yeah, this is really good play. He's got the SCV there. Now the Queen pops. Ceonsamea has that SCV, of course, to repair with. Those 2 bunkers already have 2 Marines in each of them. And he is not, you know, he's not contributed a lot to this. He's actually going to lose that drone as well. You don't want to do that. That's the worst thing, as opposed to losing this hatchery as well. More Marines on the way. That Queen is actually getting taken out a little bit. Now a lot of Lings flooding in here. Let's see if this one SCV can do it. The Lings get a decent shot on the bunker, but not a lot of surface area. The one SCV is doing its damnedest. It's coming down to it, though. The Spinecrawler about to come in. All the Lings die except for 1, and it goes down. And you know what? That Spinecrawler is out of range of the second. No, it is able to get that second bunker.
It is there, yeah.
But it's going to lose his hatchery.
Yeah, if he decides to target fire this down, and I think he will. Well, he's got enough Marines that it won't even matter if he loses the bunker at this point.
Yeah, he's got a pretty healthy dose of Marines. Mind you, only producing out of one barracks.
Yeah.
So, you know what? He's able to take away all the broodlings, and now he's got all these Marines here, and they're going to have to do a little bit of microing to get out alive. Going and lift into the barracks. He's done enough. Back home, he's got a starport already. And, of course, he's taken one gas. Ceonsamea going to get out there with 5 Marines. His SCV is still there. And he's made a tech lab, so he's going to go right into Banshees. And let's see if Zode has an idea. Of course, he saw the starport in the factory lifting. Second CC on the way as Ceonsamea takes these boys home. A lot of Lings is the response from Zode, and a Roach Warren as well. So he's not transitioning into Banelings. He's going right to one base Roach.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that it's not Banelings in this case, but yeah, Roach could definitely try and dominate the low ground, but I almost would have expected Banshee to be the follow-up to this. You've dragged him completely on one side of it with making him make so many Lings, and his tech has got to be delayed and so on. Nice surround here on these Marines. Will not get away.
Yeah, I think Ceonsamea expects a bit of a Baneling bust here, because if you look at it, he's making a wall in now.
Yeah.
Zode is going to scout the starport with the tech lab on it, and he's going to scout that it's researching Cloak, so he knows what's going on. Of course, he sees it's researching. He doesn't know it's researching Cloak, but there's no other real, there's no other.
Yeah, medevac energy.
Yeah, that
be
Marine made it through all of those Lings. He fears no evil, for he walks through the valley of death. His lord is with him. Of course, his lord is Forge Gaming Ceonsamea, sitting a Banshee across the map and trying to make things happen here in Game 2 on Overgrowth. Zode really, I think, surprised me. Maybe not so surprising, but he handled Ceonsamea in that first game, didn't he?
Yeah, pretty much. He was in charge from the very beginning, the moment that he did kill all those Hellions. And then just aggression in response. Here, obviously, he's the one on the back foot. But if he can hold this, our Terran player does not have his natural down. He's got it built, but it's not down, not mining yet. Banshee coming in here now.
One Spore Crawler on the way, and you're right about it not being built yet. Cloak is finished, so he's going to take some damage on this Banshee unnecessarily. No vision for our Zerg player. He doesn't even have Lair up yet, so he's not going to be able to morph Overseers. And once that Spore Crawler goes down, he's not going to be able to get vision. There is a Spore Crawler over there and another one morphing, but this Banshee free reign, 3 kills already, and he's just going to start working on this hatchery again.
Yeah,
there's not much in the way of this Banshee right now. He's got 2 Spore Crawlers down, but he kind of had to take some unnecessary damage. Another Banshee making its way in as he establishes his natural. So now that he's got his natural down, there is, of course, a massive amount of Lings outside in the third, but, nothing doing right now for Zode. He's having to defend.
There we go, wandering a little bit into a Spore, but looking pretty good, and there's nothing on this side of the base yet. The Spore was pulled down.
Oh, God, and he's going to go ahead and start targeting drones. That Spore has to burrow, and he's actually taking out the one in the main, so Cloak does run out, but this is bad to worse for Zode because he can't... Okay, we do have Lings getting in the main for Zode. This is about as big a deal as he could have had. The Lings are able to get on the SCVs, and you know what? They're going to start battling for what they can, but, Marines are going to get surrounded, and this is as good a move as he could have hoped for.
Yeah, it is. It will get cleaned up here, though, ultimately, and, yeah, that Roach Warren does go down. Only one Banshee left, though. But what were the Roaches attacking for a second? I think the Roaches were trying to kill their own hatchery for a second.
Oh, God.
but they stopped. They thought better of it. Drone count, though, is in favor of Reserve player. He does have 2 bases up and running now. He lost a fair bit there, but it wasn't completely debilitating.
Yeah, he's got 32 drones. It looks like 33, but, or 38, sorry, 38 drones. We got 32 SCVs plus 4 mules. He's, of course, got 2 command centers. And if we look, he's taken 2 gases, and I think Ceonsamea is not going to go for the, anywhere close to as early as the 3rd CC as last game. That barracks is still there denying the hatchery from Zode. So Zode a little frustrated. And if you think about it, he doesn't really have any units to go and contest that barracks sitting there. He does have these 3 Roaches, but this number of Marines with the medevac, it's not really going to be able to do much. He is targeting the eBay, and you can see that those are researching from the little pumping engines there on the side of them. I guess you'd call them pistons or whatever. But this amount of Marines against that many Roaches, and the Roaches are going to have to go home. And, we see a Baneling nest going up from Zode, so not going back to the Roach play. Maybe he's trying to say to Ceonsamea, you might be expecting roaches sooner, but, you know, or you might be expecting roaches from the mid-game to late game, but of course, Ceonsamea sniped the roach, so now he's going to go ahead and transition into Ling Bane Muta, which got him the win last game.
Yeah, for sure. He actually went back, thought about starting to attack the barracks, and then stopped. So it's still just sitting there denying third base. This force of Marines is swinging on in. Okay, he is attacking it now, revealing the location of his Lings.
Oh, that's really good. He does reveal the location of the Lings, and that's why the barracks stay there. It's going to know that the Lings are out of position now. Ceonsamea playing with a little bit of fire here. That's a lot of Lings, but you know what? They're command moving past the Marines, and he's able to get a couple for free as these Marines are going to dance out here on the outside of Creep. The Banshee's going to go ahead and attack anything. The Lings do get a surround on the Marines, but the Banelings are going to go ahead and get shot down by this Banshee. No more Banelings on the map. One more on the way. Baneling speed halfway to completing, and Ceonsamea can sit here forever.
Yeah, pretty much. That Banshee really did its work there, and he's desperately trying to save this Spire. That's kind of his key piece of tech, and he can't let him get close enough to snipe that.
Yeah, this is, this is really, really tough for Zode. He's on 73 supply to 92. Stim is about to finish up, and these two medevacs pop and Stim finishes up. I think Ceonsamea is going to go ahead and make a push. There's no creep here, so Zode is going to have to take his fights off of creep. And, you know, bailing speed is bailing speed, and it's going to help him a lot, but he's put the barracks down at the third again, so he's still denying the third. This amount of Lings and Banelings is doable, and now he shows the location of the Lings again, and I guarantee you Ceonsamea is going to move in. Yes, he's got his Marines, he's pre-splitting them, which is so key in these engagements, and he's able to snipe one or two Banelings, actually.
Yeah, Mutas are out and did pick off the Banshee, which is actually quite big. The Widow Mines here could get some crazy hits, and they do.
That was an incredible hit. Now, just Mutas essentially versus Marines and medevacs, and that's never what you want at this stage in the game.
Yeah, it does have to back up again. This Queen in danger of going down. Such a little force, but there's almost no way to stop it right now.
Yeah, those Marines are on 1-1 with Stim and combat. No, they don't have combat
Lings are stuck. Yeah, there we go. Now he will finally drive this back, but taking a lot of damage.
And you know what was so essential is he was denying the third. But look at Zode. Zode himself has denied the third as that Widowmine gets a couple more kills, 9 total for him. But look, Zode in the meanwhile has gotten his overlords to the third expansions of Ceonsamea and laid down creep. So at least they're both relatively equal in terms of that, but he is, of course, going to lose that Overseer to that Marine. And Ceonsamea, I think, is still in the driver's seat, but it could swing the other way if you give Zode enough time.
Yeah, I mean, it could come down to just 1 or 2 big Baneling hits here, but I think he can kind of prevent that as long as he doesn't. Basically, if he swings around and is able to deny this third base from actually getting up and running, which I think is quite possible with these Widow Mines. Although this one may just plain go down.
He has
baiting
him
back
still
in.
Alive. Now
huge hit.
Mine was a massive
Huge hit.
There's the GG call.
Hello, we are here on game number 3. Down here on the bottom left-hand side is 440 Zode, and 4 plus 4 is 8. What's happening with 8s?
888.
440 Gaming, Zode.
And you know what? We're going to get right into it. We do have a player introduction video, so I guess we'll do that. Spotting in the bottom left, Ender, it is your purple Zerg player.
Oh, no,
440 Gaming, Zode.
Say, what do we do? Do we just cast? I don't know. We've got a barracks going down in the top right. Of course, it is Force Gaming Ceonsamea because we've got some shenanigans going down in a short. It's going to be
it's found already. It's found.
It's gonna be, was it scouted? Oh, it's scouted. He knows.
He's already scouted, but he did finish it, so he didn't get to shove the SCV off. But still, he does know it's there.
Yeah, he's going to go for it.
The Reaper is starting. Nope, he's got it. Yeah, he just started it. And then he comes back and bravely just does another one.
Yeah, he's got a second barracks down there, started with the SCV that is on like 5 health or something like that. Looks like 10 health. And we have the first Reaper on the way. Ceonsamea really setting the tone for this series. Doesn't want to take any steps backwards, going right on the front foot. And Zode went hatch first. Again, on this map, it's going to be a killer because there's so much room to get your Reapers in and out.
Yeah, exactly. You can come off this cliff basically anywhere, and you're going to be great.
We do have links.
Go for it.
Are Lings on? No, we don't even have a spawning pool finished yet.
No,
so
it's not done yet.
He went gas first. This is, well, hatch, then gas, then spawning pool, so this is going to be really hard to defend. Once multiple Reapers come in here, there's not going to be anything stopping them, and this has gone, unfortunately for Zode, in Ceonsamea's favor, as he gets 1 kill already with that Reaper, and another one joining him, of course, 2 more on the way. Once you get this sort of culminating mass of Reapers, it is so hard to take out, and he takes out 2 already. And you know what? Once you've got 2 Reapers together, of course, they 3-shot drones, so he can kite all day. He has no problem doing this.
Yeah, the Lings are now out, but of course they have to be careful themselves on when and where to take these engagements.
Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and lose 1 already, and that 1 already down to three Reapers in here already. And Ceonsamea, something tells me, knows how to Reaper micro. He's gonna take out 4 drones already dying to this thing. The Queen has popped, but he's almost to that mass already. We see another Reaper on the way. And we'll see if he continues with the Reaper production. He might just get to a certain number and then stop and then force Zode to produce out the yin-yang to try and counter this. Of course, 3 Reapers can kill a Queen. 4 can definitely kill a Queen. And Ceonsamea proven once again, he is all about that cheese.
Yeah, he is pulling back here. We've got Zode just trying to stall out for speed or something to be done. Oh, he could get 1 Reaper almost trapped there. Does pull back safely in time.
So many of those Lings are on low health. The Queen finally goes down as the next one pops. A lot of these Reapers are kind of hurt right now, and he is going to go ahead and produce 2 more. Of course, he can't get too confident with those Reapers. They do heal themselves, so that's quite nice. Speed is about to finish up, and once it does, this massive Lings is going to be enough. Unless the micro from Ceonsamea makes something happen, of course. Always potential with that. But this is a lot of Lings now. I think Zode is going to be able to send this away once he gets the speed.
Yeah, there is the speed now. Is kiting the back pretty well. Not going to get any trapped. Or does lose 1, actually.
He got 1, yeah.
Yeah. And he's going to swing down to the low ground here. If they chase him down, he'll try and hop up. But he actually gets trapped completely here.
Oh God, he's gonna lose them all now.
Yeah.
And this one going now. He still
escapes, but
yeah, he's got 1 and another one joining. But he doesn't seem to have gotten a second CC. He seemed to be a little all in on this.
Yeah, this is actually quite all in. He hasn't really done anything with it at home.
Yeah, he's built more Reapers. I think he was expecting to do way more, and these Reapers going to get caught out here surrounded, and they're both going to go down. At least 1 is, but you know, 1 Reaper's not going to do much. It's just scouting at this point, and you know what? He's going to go ahead and cancel the next Reapers that are producing and bring him home. He's going to get an orbital, but Ceonsamea, where's your next route? He's got 250 minerals, 250 gas, not doing much with it. He's going to go ahead and now he's going to expand, and he's going to build a bunker back home just to stave off these Lings, but you know what? I think the ball's heavily in Zode's court at this time.
Yeah, I think so. And one thing that's going to work out for him is he's been mining gas the whole time. If he decides he has to do a Baneling bust, then he probably can. I'm actually surprised that we don't see one.
Yeah, I would expect Baneling bust for sure.
Yeah, he will go for the infinite repair here just to force him to pull the workers off.
And I think Ceonsamea is expecting a Baneling bust because he is going to go ahead and wall off again. He's got a second wall there already. These SCVs are actually trapped unless he puts them into his bunker and gets them back, which is doable. Yeah. But anything that requires micro is obviously going to be time away from macro, which is what Ceon was pretty much abandoning for a little bit there. As finally he gets the Reapers back home and he's able to stave off these attacks. 2 gases taken on the natural for our Zerg player. 1 at home already in the main. Of course, he researched speed as these barracks get in here for Ceonsamea. And really, I think Zode can take this wherever he wants.
Yeah, you may end up seeing him go directly to the air. The only thing that's been produced is Reapers. He knows there's no reactors. He knows there's no stim. He knows there's nothing like that. So if he just goes directly to the air, there's going to be nothing his opponent can do about
this is looking 2 base Muta, and instead he throws down a Roach Warden. So maybe you know, just feeling pretty comfortable. This is actually a decent map for Roaches because you can get such good concaves at the top of the ramps, which is what we were talking about earlier with those engagements. We do have a Spire now going down, so maybe it's just getting Roaches just to defend any more pressure. We do have the starport finishing up, and a reactor or tech lab rather going down right on it. So we're going to see Banshees from Ceonsamea, and I think Zode is really in a good position because mutas do pretty damn well against Banshees.
Yeah, they do. The Banshees not very effective at hitting them, given that they can't. And yeah, he's going to be great. First of all, he's probably completely aware of it. Like, he kind of got to see everything that was going on as he was pounding away on the supply depots. And yeah, he's got to expect something like that.
He doesn't have any spore crawlers just yet going down. So the Banshee might be able to get something done if there's no detection. But of course, he already has Lair, so Overseer.
It'll be the Overseer plus a few mutas. We'll just shut it down. Quality won't even need this force.
Instantly cancel it. So it's not going to be much by way of Banshee harassment. These two Hellions are not going to be able to stave off a force this big, coming up to the top of the ramp, using the bunker support to great effect, and now those Lings, much healthier numbers. And if we're looking at supply as any indicator of how this game is going, Zode at 72 and Ceonsamea at 58, it was a little closer than I think I expected.
Yeah, it is, but I think we're also at a point that doesn't... He was banking up money for these 11 mutas that are about to come out. And those are a lot stronger in this position than the supply would indicate.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty tough for Ceonsamea to hold, and he's been on the back foot for the most part of this game after the Reaper Rush failed. This Banshee going to come in here, but mutas have already popped. There is an Overseer pretty much done. And, it's not going to go from... this Banshee's not going to do anything, basically. We do have him making his way into the main to see what drones he can kill. And there's nothing here right now, so he's going to actually be able to get some kills because the mutas are on the other side of the map. And you know what? They're not here to deny this Banshee. But what is here to deny the mutas? And that's even less than what Zode would have to defend the Banshee. So, Ceonsamea...
the mutas get this done way quicker than what that's going to do. Oh, and he could even cancel stim here.
He's going to cancel stim, and that's GG almost.
Yeah, and that's so key. He knew how far ahead he was on everything like that, so all he has to do is keep it down. He's going to cancel the upgrades here as well. There's no way that these Marines can leave this bunker position to do anything about this.
And he's taken out the natural wall. So he's going to be able to cut that way open for any sort of roach or ling pressure, whatever he's going to follow this up with. Both the eBay upgrades are going down. There is two turrets in the mineral line, and for now, with repairs, those will keep him down. The Hellion's actually getting in on this third here, and that Banshee is going to be able to do as much damage to the hatchery as it's going to be able to get done until the Queen and mutas show up, which is in a couple of seconds here. It's gone. 3 Hellions not going to be able to do that much damage, especially... with the type of control that Zode has got. He seems to be relatively decent at picking off Hellions.
Yep, those are cleaned up, and that really was kind of the end of any offensive force. It looks like a few Widow Mines are just making their way out onto the map in certain positions. I guess one of the only things you can really look for now is catching a huge clump of mutas completely out of position or something.
Yeah.
He's just going to be able to do this harass all over the place.
Which, to be fair, he does seem to like clumping up his mutas.
Yeah,
he loses a couple already in that engagement. And so Zode, he doesn't have Overseer speed because they're not keeping up too well with the mutas. This Banshee coming in here, trying to work on this drone line, getting a couple kills, and any foot back that Ceonsamea can get is going to help him out. +1 on the way, armor and attack. He doesn't have any medevacs in the field with this force, so pushing out a little dangerously. A lot of times I like to wait for my medevacs because, of course, it gives you that staying power on the map. Every time you stim is going to be that much less, but he's just now restarted stim, so I think he's in a position where he's like, you know what, I have to try and cancel this third. It's the only way. One Widow Mine making its way up there, going to go ahead and not be able to burrow completely out. All these Marines are going to get surrounded, and the mutas actually pretty comfortable numbers to deal with this.
Yeah. Although there's, Widow Mine not getting down. Zode does take that game.
All right, welcome back. Of course, it's Game 4 of the first series of this quarterfinal playoff between these two players, Terran versus Zerg on Shakur's Plateau. And we've got some cross-spawning locations, so not directly across from each other. Let's get right into these player instructions. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, currently 2-1. He is losing, and if he loses this one, that's it for his Challenger League Season 3 career. He is your Golden Terran!
Forged Force Gaming, Ceonsamea.
And up here on the top right-hand side of the map, we have a Zerg player who's currently up 2-1, looking to close this series out, donning the majestic and imperial purple. It is
440 Gaming, Zode.
Yeah, Zode is he's looking royal today, boys, and he's got his second hatchery up and his spawning pool on the way. We do have a scouting SCV as well as a Reaper popping for Ceonsamea, looking to be a bit more standard game. He's not proxying any barracks. Learned his lesson from last game that Zode is not going to take it lying down too easily anymore. And I hope we see a bit more standard game out of these two players, because typically in TVZ, if one player goes bio and the other player goes Ling, Bane, Muta, that's where we see really I think the actual skill of a player, because you're demonstrating, you're splitting, you're macro behind, paying attention to 3,000-4,000 things at one time, and I really hope we see a bit of that play.
Yeah, and the best, multitasking that comes with it. Now, he is making a second Reaper as well. He's trying to land a bunker here at the natural. So maybe not cheese, but still a little bit of aggression with the Reapers.
Yeah, it's going to be annoying.
And
of course, the bunker it's forcing Zode to respond. When you make the bunker, you're saying, you know what, I'm going to have some staying power here if I get this thing up. You need to do something about this. And anytime you can get a reaction out, he cancels it. He was just trying to make Zode freak out a little bit. 2 Reapers here is going to give him a little extra staying power. And he does have the factory halfway from completing as well as the reactor. So it's going to be, of course, the standard Reaper Hellion. What you're doing when you get the bunker, if it goes up, the more the merrier, but of course, not a problem at all to go ahead and cancel it. A third CC here for Ceonsamea, so he's going to go right into that macro. These 2 Reapers are going to go ahead and get in on this drone line, and you know what? They're going to pop a couple of drones.
Yeah, they are still able to get some damage done here, and you're totally right. The whole investment of the bunker costs you like 25 minerals, and it makes your opponent, it diverts all their attention. It might make them do something stupid. It's similar to a Protoss just putting a pylon down, and he might cannon rush me, so I have to pull 6 drones for it or something.
Oh, losing a Reaper is Ceonsamea, so a little sloppy there. I don't think he had to take that fight on creep, as we see the double blood splatter from that Reaper. Unfortunately, they blow up when they die, so if you are signing up for the Terran Army, ladies and gentlemen, you want a risky job with a lot of jetpacks, I guess the Reaper life is for you. I'm not sure I would like that life. Speed has completed. Zode sending these Lings across. Roach Warren halfway done, so I guess we're going to see some Roach Hydra play. But these Lings trying to do a little bit of annoying damage, and you know what? Ceonsamea's going to have to pull out of this. I'm not sure I agree with this, but you know what? He is the player, not me. He does have a healthy number of Hellions here, so he can contest this force.
Yeah, and there are about 16 Lings here, so as long as he stays safe, he's going to now put a wall up here in front so that he doesn't just get a run by or a Baneling bust or something. But it's actually the Roach Warren follow-up again. And he seems to like this. After the first game that was so Baneling intensive, he's really opted for the Roach play afterwards.
Yeah, it's a little interesting. I'd like to think that Zode would be electing to go Baneling's, Baneling Ling. But you know what? He's not going up to a third. And he's got a lot of Roaches here that have popped, and Ceonsamea needs to see this. I don't think he's seen this yet. He might have just seen it, but we're going to see if he has. Okay, now he's going to see these Roaches come across, and we're going to see the response out of Ceonsamea. He does not have the force to contest this. All of these Hellions need to get the hell out of there. Good on you, Ceonsamea. Let's see what the response is back home. Bunkers need to go up. He does have some conveniently placed Widow Mines. Those Lings are able to get in, though.
It doesn't matter.
That was a hell of a Widow Mine hit. Once again, Ceonsamea proving that his Widow Mines are heroes, but the Ling's able to get all the Widow Mines done. So now the Roaches are going to come up unimpeded. One Marine is doing some shots. SCVs are pulled to try and repair. Hellion's not doing any shooting. They need to get down here and get some damage on these Roaches.
Yeah, I think they're just waiting for these Widow Mine detonations to go off again. There's going to be 2 of them in quick succession. There's 1. There's 2.
Oh, man, the hero Widow Mines.
Yeah, that 1 Widow Mine at the top of the ramp, now 11 kills. And I quite possibly, I think that just saved him this game.
Oh, yeah, of course it did. Because had those Lings been there that defense would have been non-existent. Not only would the repairing SCVs not even have been able to get in to repair, the Hellions would have been mopped up. There would have been nothing except for the Widowmines. Once again, Ceonsamea relying on Widowmine, which a lot of people say is a gimmicky unit, but he placed them. He knew what he was doing. He could have targeted. You know, it is what it is. If you run past a Widowmine blatantly, you're asking for it. So Ceonsamea, really well-placed defense here, but now he's going to have to deal with the Baneling Muta follow-up. So Zode, not afraid to tech switch, which is the beauty of Zerg.
Yeah, definitely you can do it just so quickly. He's getting both the Baneling Nest and the Spire down at the same time. Still no third base, though. This one getting harassed here.
Oh, man.
It's not finished yet. Nice round.
Yeah, he microed those lings perfectly, splitting them up around the island there in the middle, and able to get the decent surround of those Hellions. And once again, this is what we saw from Ceonsamea in the first game. He lost his Hellions a little blatantly. You need to micro those. You need to control them. You need to keep them alive. Get them in behind the mineral lines, into those little crevices that make them so hard to deal with his lings. And now, what you've given your Zerg opponent is map control, vision, and time to drone. He's going to go in here. He knows there's a Widowmine. He sets that off with one ling. I don't think he knows about the second one,
another
though.
one.
That second one. That's the one with the 11 kills. That's the
really
sergeant.
Know about that one by now.
Yeah. Yeah, he is keeping these lings outside, and I do expect him to Baneling bust, and it's nice that he's got creep once again denying the third of Ceonsamea.
Yep, it is going to be a while before he can get anything down there. He can't really move out anything that can even get rid of this Overlord, let alone actually secure this in the long run.
He's got a proxy hatchery down on the natural low ground. That's his not proxy, his macro hatchery. That's how confident Zode feels right now. He wants his reinforcing units to be that much quicker that he doesn't give a shit. He's gonna put it right there. Ceonsamea does have decent supply, and he's gonna go ahead and send a medevac drop around here to the outside, which is a good idea. I think drops will get you back into the game. And he's not out of the game by any means. Both players have been seemingly content to sit back and macro a little bit. He does scan the main and he sees everything that he needs to see, but these two Overlords in prime position to spot this drop, and I don't think it's going to do what Ceonsamea needs it to do.
Yeah. Muta's here trying to do their own harassment. He should be able to see this if he's not paying too much attention to the Mutas, as it does go right by some Overlords. No real reaction just yet, though.
Incoming, the drop's going to go ahead and clean up a lot, and those at the second drop, this is what you were talking about, the third being so close to the main. You're able to just use these medevacs to great effect. He's gonna go ahead and pick up, get out of there, and go to the main. Baneling's in here, but they're not getting in and getting their detonations yet. Two Widowmines, two medevacs are gonna go down. All the Marines are gonna die, but you know what? This is forcing Zode to come back and defend, and he doesn't really want to be doing this at this point in time. Ceonsamea trying to take a third, but he once again is denied by that pesky little Overlord in the creep spread. And I think Ceonsamea is going to be able to take it into the late game, which is what we have not actually seen out of these two players yet.
Yeah, I think that was the crucial stalling that he needed. He also thinned out some of these Mutalisks a little bit, so they're not going to be able to really fight a turret, fight a small group, or anything like that.
This is one thing that I absolutely hate as a Terran player, or rather any player who's getting the creep spread to block their expansion. It just is so annoying. It seems like it takes forever, and honestly, if you're going to do one thing that's going to help you, kind of even up the timing a little bit, that is going to help you so much. Of course, establishing a third is super key. We do have two on the way for our Terran player. It's looking pretty typical. It's looking Ling, Bane, Muta, and I really like to see this. The creep spread is not where I'd like it to be for Zode right now. It needs to be a little further at the 15-minute mark, but he's having to worry about other couple things, so no doubt get his creep spread rolling right now. But I think Ceonsamea's army takes this in a straight-up match should he micro it well enough.
I think absolutely, and you brought up the upgrades there. Now that +2 is done for the Terran, 1-1 is not even done for Azure.
Oh my god.
He just didn't even have the evolution chambers until quite recently, so he's been doing everything but the upgrades.
Yeah, here's where the engagements are going to go down, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of Widowmines here are getting burrowed, of course, in that minefield. Polt likes to do that a lot, and he's off creep. Ceonsamea is going to be able to take this engagement where he wants to, forcing it at the third or the macro. Incoming are the Lings on creep, but are they fighting in the right position? I'm not so sure. A little bit of Lings coming in to try and set off these mines, going right over one. One mine gets a really decent hit, 6 kills on one. and 1 kill on the Muta on the other. And you know what? We're going to see an engagement go down here. Off creep, Ceonsamea not forcing the issue. Incoming Lings and Banelings trying to get the detonations they can off creep, but Ceonsamea stimming out of the way, and the stim and splits are real. A couple of detonations go off, but I don't think it's enough.
No, he's so weak, but they're Widowmine going off on those Mutas. And yeah, he just doesn't have enough to close it out before the Widowmines end up resetting.
Yeah, the only thing that's helping him out here is those Terran the Marines taking the fight on creep, losing a medevac to friendly fire, and he's going to go ahead and lose all these Marines. I don't think that was an engagement Ceonsamea needed to take.
Yeah, I think he kind of pushed it in a little too far. He could have stepped back, waited for these reinforcements to come, and gone in with some actual power there. Really good control by both Zode and Ceonsamea. We saw Ceonsamea actually unroot some Widowmines so that they wouldn't fire, and we saw Zode pull Lings off to detonate them.
Exactly what he just did there. Now he's going to be able to see these Marines. Not a lot of them, but Micro trying to deny that Baneling. A lot of Mutas and Banelings incoming. Are the splits real enough? They're doing it as best as he can. More Marines coming up to support this, but the Banelings are getting the detonations they want. Now there's nothing left on the ground for Zode. He's going to have to back out. You can't fight straight up with these Marines right now with those Mutas. One thing that Canary in the chat brought up is maybe Ceonsamea should take to the plateaus here in the middle of the map with those islands, and that is a good idea. But of course, once you're on there, you're kind of on there. That Widowmine going to go ahead and keep getting more kills. 17 kills, the captain. Finally losing his life for the Terran player. But once you go onto those plateaus, you're kind of rooted there. It's going to be hard. It's a little bit more micro-intensive, and sometimes you need to just focus on the splitting. So a Thor in this army going to make it that much stronger. And you know what? Sometimes I don't mind just getting my Thor right out in front and taking Baneling hits. He's taking the fight on creep, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll get pushed back here. Will we see? Getting out of range before the Widowmine hits. Trying to swing over to this other side, forcing the issue. There's no Banelings, or not many left anyway. Doesn't know what to engage here.
Yeah, he's really going back and forth.
In and out.
He's being he's guessing. He's second guessing himself. A lot of Mutas, but they clump up, and the Thor's able to get a lot of good shots. That Widowmine getting a good detonation. 8 kills for him. He's finally able to clean up the Thor, and the Marines are gone. But at what cost as he loses the hatchery?
Just barely ended up losing that.
So big. These Widowmine the Widowmines are still spread out, and they're getting the kills that they want. 10 kills in that sergeant. A lot of Banelings being morphed here. Now this is back and forth off of creep. Zoda's having to take the fights off creep, not where he wants to. Another Thor entering the mix. More Marines and Marauders, of course. The bioplay is real. These Banelings are close to getting canceled. One more is canceled. The Thor getting massive hits on these Mutas. The Banelings are all taken out. The splits are real. That's GG Zode. Ceonsamea tying it up on Shakir's plateau.
Alrighty, here we are on the deciding game number 5. We are on Ohana, and Ohana means tension. As we start with our player up on the top left-hand side, the Golden Boy Terran. He is
Forged Force Gaming, Ceonsamea.
And in the bottom right, his opponent, of course, taking game 1 and game 3 pretty handedly. Your purple Zerg player.
440 Gaming, Zode.
And this is it, Ender. This is game 5, determining who goes on to the semifinals, of course. And this has been a fantastically exciting series, going this way and that. And that's why this is, of course, best of 5, because had it been best of 3, Ceonsamea would have been gone. But, you know, showing that he's here for the long haul, forcing the game 5 in that Shakir's Plateau match. And I think both players are choosing to play a bit more standard because it's all on the line here, and they just want to be as safe as possible for the most part.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like we're going to get the Reaper out quickly, and then an expansion here right onto the low ground. Not the best map for Reaper, so we're just going to see the one. You do obviously have just kind of a narrow cliff to go up and down. The main is actually like 2 tiers high, so you have to jump into the natural. But still, as a scout, you want the one, but then a reactor coming down.
Yeah, and I do agree that it's not the best map for Reapers if you're going to go multiple, but there is one thing, of course, that you can get your Reaper behind on the natural, and you can jump up in there during the later game just to get a scout off, and it's pretty good if you keep your Reaper alive. So maybe not the best thing for making multiple, but he's actually going to get a drone kill, so that's pretty nice. And he might be able to get a second one. A lot of lings, and you know what? If he went the other way, he might have been able to get it. Anything that you pick up with your Reaper is good. We do have a second CC, of course, finishing up for Ceonsamea, as you mentioned, and he's going right into Hellion play. Ceonsamea just talked about it, and we talked about it a lot, how he loses his Hellions pretty early, and I bet you he's going to be very conscious about it, because he admitted, I haven't controlled my Hellions that well in this series. I need to do that. So he knows the importance of it, of course, being a Masters European player and a Diamond NA, of course, laddering more in EU than on NA.
Yeah, definitely. And he said it was uncharacteristic for him to be losing them. He's going for a third command center right away. We're going to see whether who gets their third base down makes a difference. Almost getting another drone kill there. Does turn it to a score at the last second.
Yeah, we do have speed just about to finish up, so that Reaper, if it stays alive, is not going to be able to stay alive for much longer if it stays on this side of the map. He should really bring it home, because the Reaper is such a big deal for that Hellion harass, but it doesn't appear to be like he's really going to use it for that. He's going to come in here and try and pick up another drone, which he does actually get it, did he? Yeah, he's going to lose it, though. One more shot and it's gone.
Lings flying into the natural on the other side of the map here. Checking up the ramp. They will pick up a few SCV kills here. Could get this one building. Won't. Well, they're actually just going to leave him alive.
You know what? I really like that, because it's going to deny the wall. Zode getting work done with these early Lings here. And Ceonsamea, once again, I mean, losing that Reaper, not the biggest loss, but if you're going to go Reaper Hellion, it is, because it takes all the damage from Queens. And you know what? You don't want your Hellions here. You want your Hellions on the other side of the map. And this is what we're talking about with initiative. You seize it and you take it. And Zode has demonstrated time and time again that he's like perfectly capable with Speedlings of taking out Hellions en masse.
Yeah, definitely. He's so good at getting the surrounds. He really sets them up well, using the terrain to his advantage and just kind of charging on them, knowing when to turn on the attack. He will be taking down these rocks, obviously, as his third base comes down, and we've got 6 Hellions now moving out onto the map.
Yeah, and 6 Hellions are the standard, of course. I don't know why it's really the standard, but they are really safe. You can, of course, with 6 Hellions shooting, will insta pretty much any Zergling force if you get the range on it. I think, though, a lot of the top-tier Terrans have been making more these days, and it's you see it a lot with players like Pol. I think Innovation does it a lot, and they get a lot done. But of course, just the 6, Ceonsamea is going to go ahead and see that the third's on the way, so he knows the timing. All of the Lings are there, taking down the rocks, and he's going to go ahead and try and get a couple of kills. If he micro-sees like he should, they should pretty much live infinitely, because there's a lot of lanes for him to get those Hellions into. As one Hellion does meet the Wrath of a Queen, he's going to start working on this creep. I really like that.
Yeah, it's so important to do this. And then once again, man, again, using the terrain absolutely perfectly, traps him against this little, whatever the hell this is. Oasis. The little Oasis rock thing. And yeah, just perfectly.
And now Zode has the map unimpeded. He can go out and get the scouting. Ceonsamea has put E-Bays here as part of his wall. Of course, they're 850 hit points as opposed to the 400 of a supply depot and the 400 of a bunker. But at the same time, he's upgrading. If we see a Baneling bust go down, which he does have the Baneling nest up, he's going to lose the upgrades. And that's huge. Upgrade advantage mid-game is so key in this matchup, because if you have non-upgraded Marines versus upgraded Lings, you might have stim and combat shields, but it's going to be a different beast entirely once those upgrades start kicking in. Towards the late game, you can catch up on that, and economy is more important. And speaking of economy, Zode is going to go ahead and add a 4th down before Ceonsamea has even taken his 3rd. And of course, he's going to use that for gas for the most part.
And he's got the macro hatch in the main as well. He's going to have tons of larvae that he can basically store from. And now that he's taken out those Hellions, he's kind of blunted the aggression that Ceonsamea can actually do. And I think he just knows that he's safe for a while.
Okay, and you know what? You called this. You said, I want to see Zode get an army and then go do something with that army. Generally, Zode would come back, chill on 2 bases for a little bit, and try and make something happen aggression-wise, right? And he's not doing that here. He's taking a 4th hatch. He's getting his creep spread out. He's doing all the pesky Zerg stuff that makes their macros so unattainably difficult. He's going to go ahead and come out and deny this 3rd. He has done this every single game. Overlord at the 3rd, send the Lings. Overlord at the 3rd, send the Lings. Overlord's speed is finished, so it's going to survive, and he's going to go ahead and lose that Marine. Not the biggest loss, but all those Lings are gonna be able to fight these Marines. Well, next second thought, not so much the best fight, but the creep is real though.
Creep again. Yeah, that one will fade off a little quicker, but yeah, this is exactly what we were talking about here. He's going to morph in a lot of Banelings, but sometimes people think using your army means literally actively using it. This army was being used to defend the economy that just went up. And now that the economy is up, now it will be used aggressively. Yeah. This is a better time than sitting on 2 bases until it's too late and then being behind on everything.
Yeah, he's going to take a fight off creep. In come the Lings. Mines are not burrowed yet. The Banelings are...
Oh my god, the SCVs.
A lot of busts on these units. Marines are splitting decently well, but there's a lot here for Zode. Plummeting supply of Ceonsamea. He's picking up Marines out of here, but he's going to lose the 3rd. Going to go ahead and pick up, and that was a highly successful. Zode picked a perfect timing. He had the pulse. He knew when he was going to try and take his 3rd. Ceonsamea moved out at the exact wrong time. Incoming Baneling. He's going to go right into the main. He loses the Baneling. Now it's just Lings, but dude, tell me, Zode had the pulse completely centered on that one. He knew exactly what was happening. He knew right when Ceonsamea was going to take his 3rd, and he punished him.
Yeah, absolutely. And the very, very unfortunate SCV transfer timing, as the SCVs just walked through a bunch of Banelings as they were going to mine. He lost 24 SCVs have now been lost.
Shit. And it's got a 4th up and running already. This is the impenetrable Zerg macro that they all love. His drone count is high. He's got an infestation pit already going down. He's got 79 drones, so more than enough to keep him fat and happy for some time. His upgrades are still going strong. 2-2 is about to finish up. 24 Banelings morphing. 6 Mutas about to pop. And you know what? He's going from good to better. And Zode taking a commanding lead in Game 5, trying to seal his spot in the semifinals of Challenger League Season 3. You know what? It's looking really rough for Ceonsamea, but if anyone can get back into this game, he's proven that he can.
Yeah, he can do it with these Widow Mines with really good engagements. Unfortunately, though, the creep is halfway across the map at this point, and a lot of the advantages he's gotten have been controlling that and taking fight off creep. But now the fight's going to show up at his front door. Nice splits away from the Widow Mines there. Baneling's coming in here now. Nothing is going to hold this off at this point.
You can only split so much. Banelings, he's splitting to the end of the map. Now there's 4 Banelings left, 2 more go down. Muta's incoming, but that's a lot of Marines. And he's able to hold this, but he lost a ton there. His orbital, of course, is going to survive for now. But you know what? Zode can do this all day at this point. He's got 4 hatcheries. Look at the mini-map. He's able to go wherever the hell he wants. His Overlord spread is so real. Hive about to finish. Or Lair, rather. He doesn't... Does he have? Yeah, he has Lair. Of course he has Lair. Yeah. But he's morphing another Lair just in case. Is that what he's doing? I don't know. Regardless, the action's happening. He's morphing more Banelings, more Mutas on the way, and he's just going to keep doing this all day.
Yeah, he can afford to trade cost inefficiently at this point. All he has to do is make sure that this mining is disrupted. If he just keeps the SCV count down, then his opponent's never going to be able to get to a point that he needs to be, and eventually he's very close to mining out his main.
Yeah, and let's talk upgrades. 2-2 versus 2-1 in favor of our Zerg player. And if you have a unit advantage and an upgrade advantage, well, the only advantage you'd be lacking is micro advantage. And so, you know what? He's going to have to micro his little Terran heart out here. More Banelings coming in. God. So many detonations, but the Widow Mines are able to clean it up a little bit. Coming back to this bunker and the SCV lines. The Mutas are still alive. More Lings coming in, but I think Ceonsamea might hold the 3rd, but the natural is now where Zode is going. The Widow Mine's going off, but is it too little too late? I think it is. The bunker gets surrounded. The Lings. The SCVs are almost all on absolutely no health. They're all on 5 health, and they're incinerated. Plummeting supply Ceonsamea. Is he going to lose the game here?
I think he is. He took the fight still pretty efficiently, but he's just so far down. It just doesn't matter at this point. The Widow Mines are gone. Those are the things that have been absolutely saving his life, and there's none left. One Thor is out somewhere.
Yeah, and look at the minimap. There's a train of there's a Japanese maglev high-speed train coming at 200 kilometers an hour, streaming across the map. The cracklings are about to finish up their 3-3. It is real. There's not much you could do right now. Ceonsamea's perspective, 20, 32 more lings on the way, more banelings, more mutas, and this is what Zerg Swarm looks like, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, now just morphing banelings in right in the third base of his opponent. There's no way to hold this back at this point. He's going to go in for what I think maybe the last attack.
I'm a strong, independent Zerg who don't need to morph my banelings in my main. And you know what? That Thor's going down. The mutas are still alive and healthy. The banelings getting in on this SCV line. Ceonsamea fighting for his last tournament life, but he can't really do much other than that. What do you do? 62 supply. This is looking really close to GG. Zode played a fantastic Game 5 on Ohana.
Amazing. I think he adapted to absolutely everything he needed to do. He had that control early on, and he didn't give it away. He kept it, he used it to build his economy, and then he used that economy to dominate his opponent.